My brother asked me to pick up the child at the airport. I stared at the burly man in front of me, who was a head taller than me and full of muscles, and fell into deep thought. Are you Jack? The other person was obviously impatient. Yes. It's your father here. This kid was quite rebellious. I had a serious look on my face. You should call me Aunt Jack. Just as the two of us were at a stalemate, a little boy suddenly hugged my leg. Aunt. I was startled. What was going on? Little friend. Did you mistake me for someone else? No. The little boy shook his head. Dad showed me Aunt's photo. And Aunt's sign also has my name on it. I probably knew what was going on. Are you also named Jack? A little boy raised his small face. Yes. Well. I had mistaken the person. I looked at the man in front of me with a look of wanting to cry but having no tears. Sorry. I mistook you for someone else. The other person touched his nose. It's okay. I was not very polite just now either. I'm sorry. It's Big Brother. Jack hugged the man's leg. Thank you for the car. Brother. The man laughed, crouched down and pinched Jack's face. You're welcome. I didn't expect that we were so fated to have the same name. Four well-trained bodyguards in black rushed straight towards us. Young master, please come home with us. The man's face darkened. Yes. I know. After they had walked a while, Jack suddenly let go of my hand and trotted all the way to grab the man's clothes. Brother. Come home with me. I quickly went forward and pulled Jack back. No. Brother is not from our family. He has to go back to his own home. So. Jack raised his head and said excitedly. Then let brother be my uncle. Then we will be a family. Me. Wonderful. You are really my good nephew. You know how to sell out your aunt at a critical moment. I got into Jack's luxury car. Jack sat in the middle. And I and Jack sat on both sides. Awkward. Besides awkward. I had nothing else to say. Well. I took the initiative to speak. Thank you for sending us home. Jack was playing with his mobile phone. Jack also followed and said thank you in a childish voice. Thank you. Uncle. This unlucky kid. I covered his mouth with one hand and squeezed out an awkward smile. The child is talking nonsense. Don't take it to heart. Jack curled his lips. Of course not. The Rolls-Royce stopped at the entrance of the community. I held Jack's hand and got out of the car. Thank you. Mr. Zhang. You're welcome. Jack waved to Jack. Goodbye. Little Jack. But Jack ignored him. His small face wrinkled like a bun. Jack. You can't be rude. Quickly say goodbye to brother. I patted Jack's head. Jack snorted. Uncle hasn't added Aunt's WeChat yet. How can he become part of our family like this? Me. Let me die. Right now. 3, then why not add it? Jack laughed and shook his mobile phone. Can't let the little one's good intentions go to waste. I scanned his QR code. Remark. Judy. The Jiaoan Jiaoiji meaning, bright and clear. Nice name. Jack raised his eyebrows at Jack. Are you satisfied now? Yes. Jack showed a smile. Goodbye. Brother. Goodbye. Jack closed the car window. The luxury car disappeared from our sight. Jack tugged at my clothes and pretended to be sophisticated. Aunt. You must seize this great opportunity. Me. This kid has become a little devil. For my parents were originally very angry that my brother married a foreign woman and settled abroad. They even threatened to cut off the parent-child relationship with him. But after seeing Jack, all that nonsense can go to hell. The Chinese love for the younger generation across generations is the best. Oh, Grandma's little sweetheart. Come and let Grandma give you a good kiss. My mother pinched Jack's face, giving him one kiss after another. My father stood aside anxiously. Come on. Let Grandpa hold you. Finally. I rescued Jack. Jack rubbed his reddened face and obediently greeted them. Hello. Grandpa and Grandma. I'm Jack. I'm 5 years old this year. Good. Good. Good boy. My mother fed him a sip of juice. Your father is really something. He actually let you come back alone. Jack held the cup. Dad said he was afraid that Grandpa and Grandma would be angry when they saw him. Grandma. Don't be angry with Mom and Dad anymore. Okay? Good. Good. Grandma is not angry anymore. Come back with your Mom and Dad next time. Thank you. Grandma. Jack gave a sweet smile. So cute that my mother kissed and pinched him again. My father smiled and handed over some snacks. Were you afraid to take the plane alone? Baby? No. The brothers and sisters on the plane took very good care of me. And so did Uncle. He also gave me a toy car. This kid. Why does he blurt out everything? Uncle? My father and mother simultaneously turned their eyes to me. I gave an awkward smile. He was joking. There happened to be a man on the plane with the same name as him. He also gave him a toy. And he pestered the man. I'm not joking at all. Jack looked very unhappy. He swung his short legs and jumped off the sofa, ran to me, and grabbed my hand. They added each other on WeChat. My parents' expressions became more subtle. My mother showed an I understand smile and said, Judy, if you think he's suitable, bring him home and let us have a look. Jack also chimed in, yes. Aunt. I like my uncle so much. Bring him home. Me, my brother really has a wonderful son. Originally. I thought Jack could resolve the between my parents and my brother. Unexpectedly. The escalated. My father and mother almost got into a fight over who would sleep with Jack at night. I'm the grandma. I should sleep with him. I can take care of him. You're his grandma. And I'm his grandpa. I'll sleep with him. I said weakly. Can't you let him sleep in the middle? My father and mother looked at each other, and shouted in unison. No. I want to sleep alone with my grandson. Me, kinship across generations is really terrifying. Jack sighed and walked up to me. Aunt. Can I sleep with you? I refused. No, impossible. I will never sleep with this little brat in my life. So when Jack, wearing a brown bear pajama, and holding a little lamb doll, knocked on my door, I immediately dragged him in. I didn't want to either. But he's a half-blood baby. I carried him to the bed and covered him with the quilt. Go to sleep. Jack blinked his eyes. Aunt. Tell me a bedtime story. Dad always tells me bedtime stories. Hey. This kid is getting pushy. No. I don't have any. And I won't tell. Uncle Jack length, and the ending sound. All right. I'll tell. I'm really scared of him. Once upon a time, there was a little duck. It was walking on the road. I really don't have the talent for telling stories and couldn't make it up any further. Jack opened his big eyes. And then, I licked my lips. And then it became a roast duck. Jack was silent. Jack was speechless. Jack sighed. Aunt. Sing me a song instead. I could do this. I sang him a lullaby and finally managed to lull him to sleep. The sleeping Jack had his little mouth slightly open, tightly hugging his little lamb doll, and occasionally mumbling 2 words, I like Aunt so much. I touched his little head and kissed his forehead. Good night. 6. I really don't understand. How could my old-fashioned brother give birth to such a clingy Jack? I looked helpless. Be obedient. Let go. Jack hugged my leg and cried loudly. I won't. I want my aunt. I crouched down and patiently reasoned with him. Be obedient. Aunt is just going to school for class. Aunt doesn't have class this afternoon and will be back soon. Jack wiped his tears and looked so pitiful. Pinky swear. Aunt has to keep her word. I hooked his little finger. Okay. Pinky swear. Finally. I coaxed the little master of the family well, and I hurried to school. When I entered the classroom, I was a little surprised. The classroom, which usually couldn't be filled with even 4 rows of students, was full today. Judy. It was my friend Luna. I sat down beside her and whispered. What's going on today? Since when has the old man's class been so popular? Look over there. I followed her gaze. By the window in the front left direction. A boy in a baseball cap was sitting. Yes. I see. What's wrong with him? Luna informed me. His name is Jack. An exchange student from the United States. He's extremely handsome. Most of the people in the classroom are here because of him. Oh. So it's the allure of a handsome guy. Wait. I looked at Luna. What did you say his name was? Jack. The CHI in knowledgeable and refined. The G in noble-minded. I looked at that boy again. Could it be the Jack I was thinking of? 7. The class bell rang. The professor walked into the classroom with textbooks under his arm. Seeing so many people, he was stunned for a moment. Strange. Why are there so many people today? A girl in the front row bravely said. Teacher. We are all here to audit the class. Oh. I see. The professor put on his reading glasses and opened the roll book. It seems that there is an exchange student in our class. Right? Which one is Jack? The boy sitting by the window stood up. It's me. Is the class monitor here? I stood up. Yes. Just right. You two should get to know each other. If John has any questions, ask the class monitor more often. Jack looked over and curled his lips. Okay, teacher. This time I was sure that he was the Jack I was thinking of. After all, his face was really so distinctive. I have never seen anyone more good-looking than him. Luna propped her face on her hands, looking like a lovesick fool. Oh, he's so handsome. It would be great if I could add him on WeChat. Right. Judy? Me. Guess what? I actually have his WeChat. 8 knock. Knock. Someone knocked on the table next to me. I looked up. It was Jack. He just smiled at me and said, Monitor, can I sit next to you? Sure. Every time the professor on the stage reached an important point, Jack would lean over and ask me what it meant. He and I were very close. So close that his breathing and heartbeat were magnified countless times in my ears. I couldn't help blushing. Monitor. Jack propped his chin on his hand. You're blushing. No. I'm not. You're mistaken. I felt my face getting even hotter and wished I could find a crack in the ground to crawl into. This class made me feel extremely uncomfortable. Finally, when the class was over, Jack proposed to treat me to dinner. Give me a chance to thank you. Monitor. No. I should go back. Then I'll walk you back to the dormitory. No need. I'm going home. Jack smiled helplessly. You really don't give me any chance at all. Just then, Luna nudged my arm. Judy. Look at the door. There was a person standing at the classroom door. It was my male god. Leo. I had a crush on him since high school. When I learned that I had been admitted to the same university as him, I was excited for a long time. Unfortunately, there had been no progress between him and me. We were just good friends who got along well. Leo waved at me. Judy. I quickly ran over. Why are you here? To bring you something to eat. Leo gave me a dessert. I remember you like this. I hesitated for a while, then took the thing from his hand. Thank you. Shall we have dinner together? Okay. Somehow, I thought of Jack inexplicably. I looked back and saw Jack staring at the two of us. When he saw me looking over, he lowered the brim of his hat, picked up his things and left. Judy? Leo called me. I came to my senses. It's okay. Let's go. 9. After having dinner with Leo, he invited me to see a movie. It was already 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I got home. I felt a little guilty. After all, I had promised Jack that I would be back early. Sure enough, Jack was pouting on the sofa. Sulking. Jack. Auntie is back. Don't you welcome me? Jack snorted and turned his back to me. Oh, how cute he could be. I put the dessert on the coffee table. Auntie knows she was wrong. Will you forgive Auntie? Auntie brought you a small cake. Auntie doesn't keep her word. Jack looked so aggrieved. I immediately coaxed him tenderly. Auntie didn't mean it. Will you forgive Auntie? Jack sighed. Well, for the sake of the small cake Auntie brought me, I'll forgive Auntie. I immediately opened the cake and fed him a bite. Thank you, baby. Auntie, have some too. Auntie can't. Aunt Chai is allergic to mango. Okay. Jack ate the cake and became a little messy-faced like a kitten. Auntie, will you take me out to play at night? I thought about it. Tomorrow was Saturday and there were no classes. So it was okay. Okay. Auntie will take you. Jack cheered. Yeah. I like Auntie the most. The little brat had lived abroad since he was a child, and had never seen the night markets in China. He thought everything was novel. Auntie. Jack kicked his short legs. Put me down. I'll walk by myself. I put him down and held his hand tightly. Then you should hold Auntie's hand tightly. Don't let go. Okay? Okay. Jack excitedly pointed at the ring-tossing booth not far away. Auntie. I want to play that. I took him there and spent 10 yuan to buy 5 rings. As a result, after tossing 4 in a row, none of them hit. Jack was a little disappointed. Auntie, I comforted him. This time it will surely hit. Actually, I wasn't sure in my heart either. Let me do it. Such a familiar voice. I turned around. Sure enough, it was Jack. He took the rings from my hand, crouched down and asked Jack, which one do you want? Jack pointed at the biggest lamb doll. That one. Uncle. I want that one. Okay. I just saw Jack throw it so lightly. Hey. It went in. Jack hugged the lamb doll taller than himself. Thank you. Uncle. Jack. I put on a serious face. Don't call randomly. Okay. Jack drooped his head. Looking listless. Jack touched his head. If he likes it, let him call. Jack was full of energy again in an instant. I like Uncle the most. Me, little brat. He clearly said he liked Auntie the most just a while ago. 17 after all. Children have limited energy. Soon, Jack started to shout that he was sleepy. Auntie, carry me. Jack stretched out his hand towards me. I was just about to pick him up when someone else was even faster. Jack carried him in his arms and said, You're too heavy. If your auntie carried you, she would be tired. Jack got angry. Jack was sad. Jack pouted. Uncle is mean. I'm not heavy at all. Jack pinched the flesh on his belly again. Well, maybe just a little bit. Jack was made to laugh by him. Jack stuffed the little lamb doll into my arms. Auntie holds the little lamb. Uncle holds me. And Uncle holds Auntie's hand. He looked at Jack's free hand. Uncle, why aren't you holding Auntie's hand? No. No, no. I shook my head to refuse. But Jack very naturally held my hand. We can't let the little kid down. Jack smiled at me. You're right. Monitor? I turned my head and met Jack's sincere and pitiful eyes. Auntie. Well? I tacitly approved of Jack's behavior. The 3 of us walked on the way home in the evening breeze. As we walked, Jack suddenly burst out laughing. What are you laughing at? You say. Jack had a smile in his eyes. Don't we look like a family of 3? I felt my face burning and didn't answer him. What are you daydreaming about? Jack brought back my thoughts. Let's go. Auntie of the kid. 12. We're here. I wanted to pick Jack up. Jack. Come to Auntie. Jack stretched out his hand towards me. But Jack patted his bottom and put him on the ground. Walk by yourself. You naughty boy. Your auntie is holding the doll. How can she carry you? Aren't you afraid of tiring her? Uncle is mean. Jack covered his bottom and hid behind me. I also have my pride. You can't ignore my pride, just because you care about Auntie. Jack laughed. You're a child. What pride do you need? Jack tugged at my clothes, and complained to me. Auntie. Uncle bullied me. I also laughed. You can't be like this. Jack. Brother carried you for so long. You haven't even said thank you to him yet. Jack pouted. You two are bullying me. I touched his little head and looked at Jack. Thank you today. Really want to thank me? Then why not accompany me to the school library tomorrow? I want to find some materials. Tomorrow? Let's see. Jack opened his mouth. Jack, how could he even bring in reinforcements? Jack also helped him speak. Auntie. You accompany uncle to go. Yes. Accompany me to go. Jack imitated Jack's tone. Helplessly. I surrendered. Okay. Okay. I'll accompany you. Then I'll pick you up tomorrow. Okay. I took Jack's hand. Let's go home. Jack. Say goodbye to brother. Jack waved his hand. Goodbye. Uncle. Goodbye. Jack. However, looked at me. His eyes bright. Judy. 13, I had insomnia. My mind was full of the sound of Jack calling my name. Why did this name sound so nice when he said it? It was almost dawn when I finally fell asleep in a daze. I was woken up by Jack. Auntie. Get up. I impatiently turned over and continued to sleep. Auntie. 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 I sat up on the bed, grabbed the culprit, and gently slapped his bottom twice. Do you lack a complete childhood? Jack kept flapping. Auntie hit her nephew. She doesn't recognize a kind heart. I laughed, picked up my phone and looked at the time. It's only 7 o'clock. Why did you wake me up so early? It's not early. Auntie is going to start drawing. Drawing? I thought for a while. What to draw? Jack pointed to his face. Draw on the face. Auntie is so silly. I suddenly realized. You mean putting on makeup, right? Yes. Yes. Yes, Jack nodded. Every time Mom goes out with Dad, she starts drawing a long time in advance. Auntie also needs to look beautiful to see Uncle. I really wanted to say it was unnecessary. But Jack was unexpectedly stubborn. Helplessly. I had to go and wash up and put on makeup obediently. Auntie. Use this. This one is nice. Auntie. This one. The shiny one is nice. This color looks nice on your lips. Auntie. Under Jack's guidance, I finally finished my makeup without any mishaps. I didn't take any of his suggestions, because I really couldn't compliment his aesthetic sense. How is it? I showed Jack the result that took me 2 hours. Jack looked left and right and muttered softly. It's no different from usual. Me. Straight guy. Poor my future nephew's wife. 14 Jack made a WeChat call. Are you up? Yes. I'm up. I'm downstairs at your house. I hurriedly grabbed a bag and packed my things. Wait for me for a while. Jack laughed. Don't be in a hurry. I won't run away. Take your time. I'll wait for you. I'm coming down now. Okay. Jack hung up the phone. I looked in the mirror and spun around with satisfaction. Jack cheered for me. Go. Auntie. I smiled and went downstairs for the appointment. Jack. I trotted over. Have you been waiting long? No. Just arrived. Jack very naturally took my bag. Let's go. Okay. Then I'll call a taxi. No need. Jack pointed at the motorcycle parked not far away. I'll take you. The first time I saw this motorcycle, I was fascinated. It was so cool. How stylish it would be to ride it to school. Jack swung his long leg over the motorcycle, casually threw me a helmet, patted the back seat and said, "Get on." I sat on it and tightly grasped the corner of Jack's clothes. Cool as it was, I was still a little scared in my heart. What's the use of grabbing the clothes? Jack said lazily. Hold my waist. My face turned red. No. No need. It's okay for me to grab your clothes. All right. Then sit firmly. The roaring sound rang out, and the motorcycle shot out like an arrow leaving the bow. I leaned back all of a sudden and subconsciously hugged Jack's waist. Jack. Slow down. Yes. Ma'am. There was a bit of laughter in Jack's voice. Monitor. 15. The motorcycle stopped steadily at the entrance of the library. I hadn't recovered for a long time. It was so exciting. Speed and passion really lives up to its name. Dumbfounded? Jack reached out and waved his hand in front of my eyes. I wasn't driving very fast. Was I? I took off my helmet and punched him on the shoulder. This is not fast. My fault. My fault. Jack hurriedly admitted his mistake. I'll be slower next time. The two of us walked into the library and chose a seat by the window to sit down. What kind of materials are you looking for? Something related to this major. What is taught here is a little different from what I learned in the United States. Then I do know a few good ones. I'll go and look for them. I picked out a few books and then returned to my seat, only to see an acquaintance in front of us at an angle. It was Leo. He was talking and laughing with a girl. I sat down with my back to them. Jack, sitting opposite me, also saw them. He raised his eyebrows and lowered his voice. Is that your friend? Yes. Do you like him? I generously admitted. Yes. I had a secret crush on him. But now we are just very good friends. Oh. Jack didn't speak anymore. I poked his arm. Why do I feel that you seem a little unhappy? Jack glanced at me. You're overthinking. All right. This time I also didn't speak. The two of us quietly did our own things. Finally, Jack couldn't hold back first. Why don't you keep asking me? Huh? I was at a loss. Ask you what? Didn't you say you thought I was a little unhappy? You said I was overthinking. Jack seemed a bit gnashing his teeth. Don't you know that when a man says no, he actually means yes? Me, a man's heart is like the needle at the bottom of the sea. 16. Finally, I coaxed Jack with a bowl of mala tang. Do I seem so cheap? Jack didn't even know what to say. Are you sending me away with a bowl of mala tang that costs more than 20 yuan? I gave him a look. Then are you going to eat it or not? Eat. Judy. I turned around and it was Leo. What a coincidence. To meet you here. Before I could speak, Jack laughed first. What a coincidence. Didn't you bring someone here? He looked at the girl behind Leo. Leo looked embarrassed. The mala tang here tastes quite good. Whether it tastes good or not, we'll know after we eat it. Thank you for taking the trouble to desperately find topics. I coughed twice. Enough. Jack became even more sarcastic. Oh, so you think I'm in the way? I should have known that this is not the place for me. Me, you're such a good actor. Leo couldn't listen anymore. Then I'll go first. Judy. Okay. Jack tapped on the table. He's already far away. Still looking. I had only glanced at him. Why are you throwing a tantrum? Jack touched his nose. I'm not throwing a tantrum. Jack calls me uncle at least. Of course I can't watch his aunt get deceived. You're overthinking. Leo and I are just very good friends. I don't have those feelings for him anymore. I don't know which sentence hit Jack's point, but I felt that he seemed to become inexplicably happy. You seem very happy? Jack raised the corners of his mouth. Don't try to guess a man's thoughts. Me, don't want to guess. 17. In order to better help Jack, after consulting Luna's opinion, I decided to let him join our study group. After Jack knew this news, he seemed a little disappointed. What kind of expression is this? Not happy? I'm not unhappy either. Jack sighed. I thought I could have some alone time with the monitor. I punched him. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll kick you out. Don't. I'm not good with words. Don't be mad at me. Monitor. Jack's cell phone rang. Judy. Come with me to a place. Where? The basketball gym. I refused. I'm not going. It's so hot. I want to go home. Come with me. Jack tugged at my sleeve. Come with me. Somehow. I inexplicably thought of Jack. The tone was exactly the same as Jack's. How could I still say no? All right. All right. I'll go with you. The two of us came to the basketball gym. It turned out that our college was playing a game against the physical education college. As our college was short of one person, they called Jack to fill in. Sit quietly. Jack changed into a sports suit. His bulging muscles made people blush and their hearts beat faster. Are you hot? Shall I borrow a small fan for you? No need. Hurry up. They are all calling you. Okay. Watch my performance. There were so many people on the court, but I could always spot Jack at a glance. He was so dazzling, so brilliant. Every time Jack made a shot, he would wave at me. I smiled and waved back at him. Jack won. A beautiful three-pointer won the game. I excitedly stood up and cheered for him. Jack strode up to the stands, picked me up and spun me around. I won. Judy. Yes. I saw it. I patted his shoulder. Put me down. Jack put me on the ground, lifted the hem of his shirt to wipe the sweat, fought for a while and finally put his hand down, and leaned his face towards me, wiped my sweat for me. I took out a tissue and wiped the sweat on his forehead. Why don't you wipe it yourself? No way. Not everyone can see my ABS. Jack was like a puppy begging for praise. I'm being virtuous as a man. I couldn't help but laugh. You have a high awareness. Of course. Jack bent down and leaned close to my ear. Except you. 18, I blushed. What on earth was all this? I should go back. Jack is still waiting for me at home. I turned my face away shyly. Okay. I'll go change my clothes. The two of us were walking on the way home. I'm going to buy a cake for Jack. Let me buy it. I haven't given him anything yet. Jack took me into a dessert shop. After all, he has called me uncle so many times. I picked a Black Forest cake for Jack. But my eyes were attracted by the Kirby cake in the window. Like this one? Jack walked up to me at some point. Don't you think it's very cute? Yes. Very cute. Jack smiled meaningfully and looked at the clerk. Hello. I want to pre-order this cake. Okay. Sir, please leave your name and phone number here. Jack picked up a pen and wrote down the information on the paper. By the way, don't put mango in this cake. She's allergic to mango. And put some more strawberries by the way. She likes them. Okay. Sir, the clerk smiled. You're so nice to your girlfriend. I waved my hand. I'm not. But Jack interrupted me. Of course. After all, there is only one of her in this world. I asked him, how do you know I'm allergic to mango? Jack told me. He told me a lot of things about you. He said I should be nice to you. I couldn't help but laugh. This kid is so precocious. Jack looked down at me. Am I nice to you? He lengthened and the ending. Yes. I couldn't stop laughing. Why not? 19. Jack sent me downstairs to my home. Unexpectedly. My mother was downstairs with Jack waiting for me. Aunt. Jack rushed over and threw himself into my arms. Missed you so much. Aunt. My mother walked forward with a smile. This kid insisted on waiting for you downstairs. No one could persuade him to leave. I pinched Jack's face. Are you hot? No. Jack turned around and hugged Jack's leg beside him. Uncle. I quickly looked at my mother. No. No, the kid is talking nonsense. My mother ignored my words, and just looked at Jack. Nodding non-stop. Good. Good. Hello, Auntie. I'm Jack. Jack greeted my mother and handed the cake in his hand to Jack. Look what I bought for you. Wow. It's a cake. Jack was extremely excited. Thank you. Uncle. You're welcome. Jack touched his head. My mother extended an invitation. Student John. Why don't you come to our house for dinner? Is it okay? Jack glanced at me. I'd better not. Oh. Don't look at her. Just come. My mother dragged Jack towards the house. And Jack also took his other hand. Yes. Uncle. Come to our house and play with me. Me. Left in place. I'm the one related to you guys. Right? 20. I deeply understood what it meant that a mother-in-law liked her son-in-law more and more as she looked at him. Shaiji. Eat more meat. You're too thin. This dish is also delicious. And that shrimp. Judy likes it the most usually. I reached my chopsticks for the Chinese cabbage closest to me. As a result, my mother directly took the plate in front of Jack. Eat more vegetables. Shaiji. Supplement some vitamins. Thank you. Auntie. I swallowed two mouthfuls of plain rice with tears in my eyes. Jack put a few pieces of meat in my bowl. Don't be angry. Eat more. Don't think that 2 pieces of meat can buy me off. Auntie. Jack held his bowl in front of me. I want to eat meat too. Jack picked the meat from his own bowl and gave it to him. You can have mine. Don't snatch meat from your auntie. Be good. Jack covered his mouth and snickered. I see. Uncle dotes on auntie. After the meal, Jack helped my mother wash the dishes while I stayed in the living room to play with Jack. Originally, it was me who was supposed to wash the dishes. But Jack volunteered to do it. He didn't allow me to say another word. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. Jack poked his head out of the kitchen. It should be the cake I ordered. I brought the cake in. Jack liked this cake so much that he shouted that he wanted to eat it. No, Jack dried his hands and dragged Jack aside. You already have one. This is for your auntie. Don't snatch it from her. Jack hugged my leg and blinked pitifully. Auntie. You won't reject such a cute little kid like me. Right? I was just about to agree. But Jack refused before me. No, your auntie is also a little kid. She can't give in to you. Auntie is an adult. Who said that? Jack squatted down to reason with him. Your auntie is also my little kid. I bought this for my little kid. 21. What are you talking to him for? I put the cake on the coffee table and picked Jack up. It's okay. Auntie will cut a piece for you. Jack stood up and replied righteously. I'm teaching him. A good child won't snatch food from other children. Little kid. Such an embarrassing title. You. Don't talk nonsense. Talk about what? Don't teach Jack big principles. Or don't call you Jack. Leaned close to my ear. Little kid? I felt my face getting even hotter. Auntie. Uncle. Jack. Sandwiched between us. Suddenly stretched out a hand. There's still a child here. Jack and I quickly moved apart. Auntie. I want to eat cake. Oh. Auntie will cut it for you. I don't want this one. Auntie. I'll just eat my own. Jack said seriously. Uncle is right. A good child won't snatch things from other children to eat. I touched my nose, embarrassed lie. Okay. Auntie will get it for you. Then. Shall I leave first? Jack touched the back of his neck. I put Jack down. I'll see you off. No need. It's hot outside and there are a lot of mosquitoes. Be careful not to get bitten. I saw Jack out of the door. Goodbye. Jack smiled at me. Judy. Goodbye. I paused. And my voice gradually became smaller. CG. Jack was stunned. What did you call me? Nothing. You'd better go quickly. I closed the door and leaned against it to calm down. Jack outside seemed to laugh. I heard it. Judy. Stop talking. Go quickly. Okay. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. I sat on the sofa. Cut a piece of cake and took a bite. Today's cake was sweet. 20 to something seemed to be different between Jack and me. Well, how should I put it? It was very much like the feeling when I had a secret crush on Leo in high school. What are you daydreaming about? Jack patted my head. Have you thought about what to eat? I covered my forehead and glared at him. Anything. Sorry. There's no dish called anything. Jack thought for a while. The cafeteria? Sure. Jack and I went to the cafeteria. Judy. Leo. Who was in the queue. Saw me and ran over. Why haven't you contacted me for such a long time? In the past. Seeing Leo might have made my heart flutter. But now my heart was as calm as still water without any feeling. Even my first reaction was to look at Jack. To see how he would react. Jack impatiently clicked his tongue. Why should she contact you? Leo ignored him, and looked at me affectionately. Did I do something wrong? Judy? No. It's just that. Leo. I think we should keep our distance. Leo didn't expect me to say such a thing. Judy. How could you? Didn't you hear clearly? Jack was very happy. He looked at the girl who seemed to be waiting for Leo behind and raised his voice. She said she wants to keep her distance from you. Leo pointed at him. Is it because of him? I didn't say anything. I see. Leo sneered. Judy. I hope you won't regret it. I won't. I refuted subconsciously. Leo looked at me a couple more times and then turned around and left. I looked up and met Jack's teasing eyes. He raised his eyebrows and said, No regrets? My face flushed. And I pulled him into the queue. What dishes are there today? I'm almost starving to death. Yes. No regrets. Because I like him. Judy likes Jack. 23. I decided to be proactive. I was going to confess my love to Jack. So I gave him a movie ticket. Inviting me to the movies? Jack smiled. Is the sun rising from the west? If you don't want it, give it back to me. I pretended to take the movie ticket back. Jack held the hand with the movie ticket high up. No way. Once you give it to me, it's mine. Then it's a deal. See you at the entrance of the cinema at 7 o'clock tonight. Be there or be square. Be there or be square. In order to keep this appointment, I dragged Luna to get ready for the whole afternoon and finally put on a satisfactory, pure sexy makeup. TSK. Luna sighed twice. If I were a man, I would fall in love with you. You will surely win him over tonight. Thanks for your good wishes. I picked up my bag and headed for the cinema. I thought I had come early enough. But unexpectedly Jack was even earlier than me. Moreover, he seemed a bit different. Seemed more handsome? Jack. I walked up to him. Have you been waiting long? No. I just arrived too. Jack handed me a cup of milk tea and inserted the straw for me. It's hot. Drink it without worry. Thank you. Jack coughed twice and touched the back of his neck. What do you think of me today? I blinked. You're fine. Jack got impatient. Don't you think there's something different? No. Jack was deflated. Okay. There is something different. Jack's eyes lit up. What's different? You are more handsome today than ever before. I stood on tiptoe and whispered in his ear. Jack. I like you very much today. 20. For this time it was Jack's turn to blush. He took my hand. The movie is about to start. Let's go and have our tickets checked quickly. I covered my mouth and snickered. Jong. Your ears are red. No. You're wrong. Really? Really? Okay. Then I must have been wrong. A WeChat call broke the ambiguous atmosphere between us. I took out my mobile phone and saw that it was Leo. I hung up. He called again. I hung up again. He called again. I hung up again. Leo didn't know what had gotten into him. It seemed that he wouldn't stop until I answered the call. Answer it. Jack glanced at the screen. What if he really has something urgent? I answered the call. Judy. I didn't know where Leo was. The background noise was very noisy. I frowned. What's the matter? Judy. 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 Leo kept calling my name. I felt something was wrong. Have you been drinking? Just a little. Judging from his appearance, it was definitely more than just a little. Judy. Come and pick me up. Okay? Sorry. Leo, I'm busy and can't come. If you don't come, I'll kill myself. Leo shouted the sentence and then hung up. I didn't know what to do with my mobile phone in my hand. I'll go with you. Leo's voice was so loud that Jack naturally heard what he said. He held my hand tightly. Don't be afraid. Judy. I'm here. 25 Jack and I went to the bar box according to the address Leo gave. Do you need me to go in with you? Jack was not at ease. Or should I go and bring him out? I shook my head. There are some things that I must make clear to him face to face. I pushed the door open and entered. There were quite a few people sitting in the box. Someone asked, "Beauty, who are you looking for?" "I'm looking for Leo." As soon as they heard that I was looking for Leo, those people all laughed. That person shouted to the corner, "You. Someone is looking for you. Brother, you is really something." I knew she would come. Leo walked up to me. There was not the slightest sign of being drunk on him. I understood what was going on. Leo did it on purpose. He deliberately called me over to make a fool of me. "Judy. I knew you would come." "What is that, Jack?" I slapped Leo. "Leo." I took a deep breath. "I used to like you. But you can't humiliate people like this just because of that bit of affection." "Judy." Leo touched the slapped side of his face. "I like you too. I'm just afraid of losing you." "Do you like me, or are you just afraid of losing a backup?" "Leo. Do you know that I'm actually allergic to mangoes?" I told myself not to cry. At least not in front of him. "Since you're okay, I'll leave first." I opened the box door. Jack was standing outside waiting for me. How embarrassing. He saw such a clumsy side of me. "I want to go home." "Sorry. We'll make up for the movie next time. I just want to escape from this place right now." Jack caught up. "Judy. Don't follow me," I shouted. "Leave me alone." It was not until I ran out of the bar that I couldn't help crying out loud. So sad. I wasted my youth on such a person. A coat was put over my head. And someone took me into his arms. "I won't look." Jack patted my back to help me catch my breath. I lay on his shoulder and couldn't stop crying. "Judy." Jack held me. "Do you want to give it a try with me?" I raised my head. I knew I must look terrible at the moment. But Jack didn't dislike me at all. He held my face in his hands and wiped my tears. "Jack is not that good. But he is not that bad either. You can have a try with him. Because he likes you." "Jack likes Judy." I put my arms around his neck and kissed him on the lips. "Jack. Do you know why I invited you to see a movie today?" "Why?" "Because I want to tell you in person." I held Jack's hand. "I like you." Jack bent down and kissed me. Under the moonlight, a beautiful couple hugged and kissed passionately. Judy likes Jack. What a coincidence. Jack also likes Judy. 26 I'm with Jack now. Girlfriend. Don't you think there is something missing on my hand? Jack stretched out his empty wrist and waved it in front of me. I didn't understand. What's missing? Jack was exasperated. A hair tie. My roommate's girlfriends will give them hair ties to show their sovereignty. I couldn't help laughing. You're a grown man. It's so girly to wear that. Will you give it to me or not? Jack imitated a naughty child. If you don't give it to me, it means you don't love me. All right. All right. Here you are. I gave him the most common hair tie. Put it on. I don't want this one. Jack took a little rabbit-shaped hair tie from my bag. I want this one. It's cute. Fine. Fine. As you like. Jack took my hand. Let's go. Let's have dinner. The two of us walked out of the school, talking and laughing. In the distance, I saw Luna tugging with a group of people at the school gate. "Luna." I called out. When Luna saw me, it was as if she saw her savior. She quickly hid behind me. "Save me, Judy." I knew in my heart that it must be that scumbag ex-boyfriend harassing her again. I patted her hand. "Don't be afraid. Jack and I are here." The man in the lead impatiently clicked his tongue at us. "Mind your own business. This has nothing to do with you." Jack stood in front of us. "She is my girlfriend's friend. So you're going to stand up for her?" "Yes." The man laughed 3 times. "All right. Do you know how to race cars?" "Yes." "Good. As long as you race with me. If you win, I'll stop pestering her and give you a woman by the way. If I win, the man stroked his chin. With a lewd smile. I think your girlfriend is nice. I'll take her as compensation. She's not available. Jack glanced at him. She is my priceless treasure. 27 We came to the racetrack on the top of the mountain. I don't know why. But I was always on tenterhooks. I grabbed Jack's arm. Don't go. It's okay. Jack kissed me on the forehead. Trust me. Each of them chose a car. As soon as the whistle blew, the motorcycles rushed out. Jack was far ahead. When there was still a distance from the finish line, the other party deliberately cut in front of Jack. Jack couldn't dodge in time and fell off the motorcycle with the bike. Jack. I quickly ran over. Blood. So much blood. Luna called an ambulance and reported to the police by the way. Jack. I was so worried that I cried. The ambulance will be here soon. Why are you crying? Jack wiped away my tears. Your man won't die. Bah. 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 What are you talking about? Okay. I won't say it. Ouch. It hurts a little. Where does it hurt? I didn't dare to touch randomly either. But Jack laughed. Let me have a kiss and it won't hurt. At a time like this. You're still joking. I lowered my head and kissed his lips. Does it still hurt? No. The ambulance and the police car arrived soon. I accompanied Jack to the hospital. And Luna stayed at the scene to cooperate with the investigation. Fortunately, the doctor said that he only had a broken right leg and some superficial wounds on his body. He would be fine after a period of rest. Fortunately, it's just a fracture. I peeled an apple for Jack. Yes. If my leg was broken, I'm afraid my wife would run away. I punched him on the shoulder. Who is your wife? Jack covered his shoulder and howled. Murder of the husband. I sat on the hospital bed and touched his right leg in plaster. In the future, when we encounter such things, we'll just call the police directly. Don't stand up for us again. Okay. As you say. Jack put his arm around my waist and let me lean against his chest. I want to kiss you again. Be serious. I glared at him. Though it was not very intimidating. Jack lowered his head and I closed my eyes. The pink bubble-filled atmosphere was broken by a roar. Jack. 28 Before seeing the person, we heard his voice first. Little brat. You never let me worry free. And you even got yourself into the hospital. A middle-aged man in a suit walked in, seeing Jack lying on the hospital bed. He spoke sarcastically. Oh. Still alive. Jack mouthed to me. My dad. I awkwardly stood up and greeted him. Hello. Uncle. Only then did Uncle John notice me beside him. Ah. Hello. Jack took a bite of an apple. Old man. Speak softly. Don't scare my wife. Don't talk nonsense. I pulled out a chair. Uncle? Please sit. No. No. Uncle John shook his head and looked at Jack. What did the doctor say? Minor injury. Fracture of the right leg. It'll be fine after some rest. Aren't you quite capable? How did you end up in the hospital? It's my fault. I spoke up first. CG got into an accident because he was helping me and my friends. I see. Uncle John patted Jack's shoulder with a smile. Well done. You have the style of your old man back in the day. Me. Why doesn't his father play by the rules? 29 Uncle John gave a few more words of advice and then left. The old man talks like that. But he's actually a good person. Jack recalled the past. My mom passed away early. It wasn't easy for the old man. He raised me alone. Being both a father and a mother. There are so many messy things in the family. The old man couldn't take care of everything. So he had to send me abroad. Unexpectedly. This has been 10 years. Thinking of Jack living alone in an unfamiliar place for so many years. I couldn't help but feel heartbroken. I hugged him and stroked his head. It's okay. I'll be with you from now on. After being discharged from the hospital. Accompany me to see my mom. I promised her that I would definitely bring my daughter-in-law to see her. Jack held my hand. I've decided that you're my wife. I interlocked my fingers with his. Okay. I'll accompany you. Jack slowly lowered his head. Then shall we continue what we didn't finish just now? I raised my head and closed my eyes. Aunt. Uncle. Jack and I immediately separated. Jack ran in, followed by my mom and dad. Jack leaned on the bed, looking completely hopeless. In the future, we must remember to lock the door. 30 after Jack was discharged from the hospital, he took me back to his home. Why did you bring me to your home? How do I look today? Is my hairstyle okay? Oh, why didn't you tell me earlier? I came empty-handed. Jack was extremely amused. He stroked my head. The old man said to bring you home for dinner. You don't need to prepare anything, as long as you come. Although he said so, my heart was still in a turmoil. As soon as I entered, I gave Uncle John a 90-degree bow. Hello, Uncle. I am Judy. The Jow as in bright and clear. I came in a hurry and didn't prepare a gift. Please forgive me. Uncle John was startled by my gesture. Good. Good. We're all family. Don't be so formal. Sit down quickly. We can start eating as soon as the soup is ready. Old man. Do you need my help? No. Just sit here and accompany her. Ding. Someone rang the doorbell. Uncle John placed the soup on the table and glanced at Jack. Go open the door. You brat. Okay. Jack opened the door. When he came in again, his face was clearly not looking good. There were also 2 women following behind him. The older woman put on a smile when she saw Uncle John. Brother. Long time no see. Uncle John, didn't really want to talk to her. What are you doing here? The older woman pushed the young girl behind her forward. This is my niece. Yvonne. Ying Ying. Quickly call uncle. Don't. I can't bear this kind of distant uncle. What on earth are you here for? I think Ying Ying is about the same age as Iji. I thought it would be good to introduce them to each other. Jack took my hand. Aunt. I have a girlfriend. Oh. Just a girlfriend. You're not married yet. What's wrong with knowing another friend? Aunt Zhang looked at me. Girl? You won't be so petty. Will you? Before I could speak, Jack was already unhappy. How novel. Is Aunt's niece going to be my mistress? Sorry. I'm not interested. I've only recognized Judy in my life. That Miss Lee's face turned pale and tears welled up in her eyes. Aunt's face also didn't look good. Gigi. How can you talk like that? Aunt is doing this for your own good. Get lost. Uncle John couldn't hold back anymore. My son is not for you to lecture. Didn't you hear what my son said? Not only has he recognized Judy, but I have too. He handed me a red envelope. Judy. Take it. Jack took it on my behalf and opened the envelope to count. 10,001. 1 in 10,000. Thanks. Old man. 1 in 10,000. How could I not know what this means? Still not leaving? Uncle John glared at Aunt Zhang and them. Do I have to chase you away? Okay. Brother. I'll come again next time. Go. Go. You'd better never come to see me again in your life. Aunt left with Miss Lee. Uncle John beckoned us to sit down and filled a bowl of soup for me. Judy. Taste Uncle's cooking. I took a sip. Uncle's cooking is very delicious. That's good. This was taught to me by Zaiqi's mom. Tears glistened in Uncle Jiang's eyes. If she saw you, she would be very happy. Dad. Let's go see Mom together in a few days. Jack held Uncle Jiang's hand. Uncle John wiped the corners of his eyes. Good. Good. 31 Uncle John originally wanted us to stay for the night. But I felt a bit embarrassed. So I refused. Before leaving, Uncle John gave me a red envelope again. Judy. Come and play at home whenever you have time. Okay. Uncle. Jack held my hand and we walked on the way home. Are you tired? Jack crouched in front of me. I'll carry you on my back. I climbed onto his back and put my arms around his neck. He walked very slowly and steadily, his strong arms supporting the back of my knees. Suddenly, he laughed. I asked, "What are you laughing at?" "I feel like we are an old married couple who have been married for many years. When the wife can't walk anymore, the husband carries her home." Lying on his back, I seemed to be able to hear his heartbeat. It was beating so fast. "I really hope this road could be a bit longer." Jack sighed. "Judy." The moonlight is so beautiful tonight." I didn't say anything. I knew it all. The moonlight was really beautiful tonight. I liked him very much too. Tito Jack chose a sunny and beautiful day to take me to the cemetery. Uncle John also came with us. "Old woman, I've brought our son and daughter-in-law to see you. Do you have enough money over there? If not, come to my dream and I'll burn some for you." Although Uncle John was smiling, his eyes were red. "You heartless woman. Are there too many handsome old men over there? You haven't come to my dream to see me for a long time." Jack patted his shoulder. "Dad, it's okay." Uncle John wiped the corners of his eyes. "I'm going to buy some joss paper. You and Judy stay here and talk to your mom for a while." "Mom." Jack brushed the dust off the tombstone. The woman in the photo had beautiful eyes and a bright smile. I also called out, "Hello, Auntie. I'm Judy." "Zhao," as in Zhao Ji, bright. Jack laughed. "Mom, this is my girlfriend. I brought her to meet you today. How about it? Your son has good taste, right?" Towards the end, his voice trembled a bit. He couldn't help but cover his face and cry. "Mom, I miss you so much. You didn't even see me get married in person." I hugged him and patted his back. "Don't cry. Don't cry. Auntie doesn't want to see you cry either." "Judy." Jack left my embrace and knelt on one knee. "I want my mom to be a witness. I'm 22 years old this year, a junior in college. And I'll graduate in one more year. At 23, I will marry you and take you home." I laughed. "Is this your proposal?" "Yes." Jack also laughed. "So, will you say yes?" "It depends on your performance." Jack stood up and put a bracelet on my wrist. "This was given to my mom by my grandma. It's for the daughter-in-law of the Zhang family. Now I give it to you. After accepting my betrothal gift, just wait for me to marry you." "Okay." I held his hand. "I'll wait for you." 33 When Uncle John knew that Jack had proposed to me, he was so angry that he beat Jack. "You little brat. There's no sense of ceremony at all. Do you know the rules? What will her parents think? They will think that we don't value Judy." Jack hid behind me. Dad, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Save some face for me in front of my wife." Uncle John put down the feather duster and smiled at me. "Judy, this naughty boy has no manners. I'll apologize on his behalf. When are your parents free? I'll invite them to dinner." "Okay, Uncle. I'll discuss it with my parents." I told my parents about this. Naturally, my parents also agreed. "Judy, does Dad look okay in this outfit today? Didn't embarrass you, right?" My dad was a bit nervous. I smiled and poured him a glass of water. "No. Dad, you look very handsome." Uncle John and Jack walked into the private room. Sorry for keeping you all waiting." "Jack King." Uncle John walked straight towards my dad and hugged him. "It's been so many years since we last met." Jack and I looked at each other in confusion. What was going on? It was my dad who answered our question. "More than 30 years ago, I worked in Jiang's company and was good friends with your dad. Later, after I started my own business, we had less contact." Uncle John also laughed and patted Jack's shoulder. "Speaking of which, you and Judy met when you were little." He seemed to remember something funny. "At that time, you were just in kindergarten, and your mom was still alive. I took you to see King's home as guests. As soon as you saw Judy, you hugged her and wouldn't let go. And you even kissed her several times, which made the king extremely angry. I also laughed and quietly held Jack's hand, lowering my voice. So you were so naughty when you were little? One should start looking for a wife from childhood. Jack was proud. In the end, I still married you. How can you have all the good things in the world? I haven't said yes to you yet. No way. Jack was worried. You've already said yes in front of my mom. And you've accepted our family's bracelet. My mom was watching. What's the rush? I patted his face. I'm not going anywhere. Jack pinched my nose. Little naughty. You just like to scare me. My dad coughed twice and put on a serious face. Let go of your hands. Do you think your father-in-law, am dead? Jack immediately let go of his hands and sat up straight, like a primary school student listening attentively. My heart felt warm. It was so wonderful. All the people I loved were by my side.